Glossy makeup is one of the most trending makeups of 2019 and the fad still continues. You're watching Foxy, my name is Pooja. Today I'm going to be showing you a glossy skin makeup tutorial. So I'm going to begin by applying this moisture cream which has hyaluronic acid, and it's from this brand called It's Skin. One of the prerequisites to do a glossy makeup is to have a very hydrated skin. So I'm going to take this in a generous quantity and I'm going to apply it all over the face. Also in my makeup today, I'm going to be using this in place of a primer. I like to take some extra product and just kind of hydrate my under eye nicely. So just kind of dabbing it. So after applying the moisturizer, I will now be starting with my eye makeup. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer as a base for my eye, and I'm just gonna be using my finger to kind of spread it throughout the area. So after spreading the concealer, I'm gonna be using the banana powder from Makeup Revolution, and I'm gonna be setting my makeup, setting my base with this powder. So just a little bit. For the high glossy eye makeup today, I have picked up this shade, in a little darker pinkish, brownish maroon kind of a shade from this palette called LA Girl Surreal Dream. So I'm just going to be using a flat eye makeup brush and I'm going to be applying it all over my eyelid. Starting from the center of my eyelid, I'm also going to be blending it side by side. So it's just blending it towards my crease line. So just make sure that you've applied your eyeshadow from end to end, leaving no gaps in between. Now be using Smudge Me Not Lip Duo from this brand called Sugar. Just taking a little bit on my hand, lip gloss on the eyelid, the center area specifically. So after creating that glossiness in the eyelids, I'm going to be now using this highlighter palette from Makeup Revolution. So I'm using this color, which is a little whitish gold color, and just under my eyebrows. Also towards the inner corner of the eye. Now be using this lash curler from Gubb and just curling my lashes. Just put it right in the center and pump it for about 3 to 4 times. Next, I would be using this mascara from Colorbar, which is also a growth booster. So starting from the extreme left. So can you see how I've just put a little spot inside? So I'm just going to wait for it to dry and then I'm going to just take this off. Now begin with the base for my face. The first step concealing my under eyes is the Master Camouflage palette. I'm using the color Peach. If you have a lot of redness on your face, then you can definitely use the color green. That's why we use this corrector. So just dabbing a little bit. You're just going to go from the under eye. Once I've applied it using the brush, I'm going to be using this beauty blender from Gubb to blend it out, to take away all the excess if there is. If you're medium to fair tone and you don't have too much of a dark circle, something like my case, then stop using orange correctors because it gets very difficult to blend out those colors unless you're a professional. So can you see just the corrector has really brightened up the area under the eyes. So a little discoloration around the mouth is also very visible. So just going back with the peach corrector here, just a little bit so that it just doesn't stand out. And just blending it out with the beauty blender. So now I'm going to be using the Lakme Invisible Finish Foundation, and because we're trying to create a very high gloss kind of a look, so I'm going to be mixing this gold elixir from Elixir Shop. So it's like a very nice oil, kind of creates a lot of hydration in the skin and has little gold particles in it. So I'm just going to take some drops and I'm going to mix it with my foundation. So I'm now going to be mixing the oil and the foundation with this stippling brush from Real Techniques. This is really amazing because it gives a very airbrush kind of a finish to the skin. And guys, always start from less foundation because the idea in makeup is less is more. You can always pick up more makeup, but just to remove that excess takes a lot of time. While doing the forehead, please go very closer to your hairline so that there are no gaps in between. So you also have to take the foundation down to your neck. Now I'm going to be going in with my beauty blender and I'm going to be removing all the excess foundation that I have. So once I have taken off my excess I'm going to be setting my under eye area with some loose powder from the banana powder from Makeup Revolution, just to set my under area. So I'm using this brush called Faces Canada, from Faces Canada, called the blush brush. So just a little bit, just to set my under eye area. You can also use a smaller brush. Because we're trying to create a little high gloss kind of a thing, so I wouldn't prefer doing a matte powder all over my face since I already have dry skin. So I'm going to be using this amazing highlighter from Colorbar and I'm going to be going softly all over my face. So I'm going to be using the powder brush from Faces Canada. I'm just going to be dabbing it and just going around in circular motions. So this is going to set my makeup as well. It's going to create that sheen in the makeup. So can you see there's a slight shine that has started coming on the face? This is an excellent highlighter. My next step would be contouring. So I'm going to be using this bronzer from the Makeup Revolution palette, since it's a very high gloss kind of a look. So I'm using the blush brush from Faces Canada again, which is a little angular. So I'm going to be dabbing it. I'm going to actually be dabbing it like this. And then you have to make sure that the angle comes towards the end, towards the beginning of the thing. So can you see? So this bronzer has a little shine in it, right? So even if you're kind of contouring your face, it's still going to reflect those particles and help your face shine. So I'm just kind of highlighting it under the cheeks. I'm going to be using a little bit on my jawline to give it a more sharper look, and also I'm going to be using it on the side of my neck, blending it towards the back of the ear. So for the nose, I would prefer a matte contour. This is again a personal choice. If you want, you can go in for a bronzer, but I feel that after a while my nose gets very oily, my T-zone, so I prefer, you know, like a matte bronzer. So the one that I'm using is from Colorbar, the Neutral. This is shade number 001. Just taking a small eyeshadow brush, because this is a small area, and I'm going to create something on the bridge of my nose. Before I start with my makeup for the under eye, I'm going to be finishing my blush and highlighter first, and then I'm going to go in with my concealer. It's again a very personal choice. The order is a very, very personal choice. I know that I have a more controlled movement, so I like to touch my under eyes the last so that they remain fresh. So I'm using this blusher brush from Real Techniques, and I'm gonna go in with this color called Coral. This is from the palette of LA Girl. It's called the Blusher Bleem palette. It has slight, gold particles in it. So which is why I like to use this. So this is like a cheeky, little peachy color. So just dabbing off the excess, I'm going to start adding little color on their face. So mostly on the apple of the cheeks, and whatever is left, you're just kind of sweeping it off towards the upper side. Now using a concealer under the eye, and this is the Age Rewind Instant Concealer. The best part is that it blends very quickly and it settles in the eyes very nicely. My shade is number 130. So you just kind of turn it around and you take the product. In case there is excessive product that comes in, please dab it in your hand and then you can kind of apply it. But because I know that this is not excess for me right now, so I'm just going to go in directly. Just a little bit on the tip of the nose. And since I've already applied the powder again, and then I've applied my Age Rewind concealer, I can just go back with a little powder, because I don't do too much excess of powder under the eye. So it's okay to kind of go back and just dab it. Now using my eyeshadow brush by Faces Canada, I'm going to be working on the under eye now. So going back with the same shade from Surreal Dream, the pinkish maroonish shade that we had used earlier, I'm going to be going under the eye. I was also able to remove that black spot just with the brush because it's dried, so it's kind of gone away. Just applying a little bit of highlighter again in the inner corner to highlight from the Makeup Revolution palette. I'm going to now go back and use the Colorbar mascara that we had used for my lower eyelashes. Again, in terms of contouring and blushing, if you want to go more strong, you can go more strong. This is really a personal choice. Now be using the Makeup Revolution highlighter palette again to do the highlighting for the face. And the brush that I'm going to be using is the fan brush from Faces Canada. So again, I'm just going to be dabbing it and applying it on the high points of the face. So guys, as a general rule for highlighter is that if you have some problem area on your skin type, do not try to highlight it. A lot of times, you know, I've seen people have little acne or maybe some marks here. If it's not concealed properly, then when you're going to highlight it, it's going to show even more in terms of the camera. Just blending it towards my blush. So for the lips, after applying a lip balm, which is the first step to any good lip care, I'm going to be using this lipstick by Kiko Milano. It's in the shade of 08. It's an instant color matte liquid lip color. So I'm just going to take some and I'm going to be applying it on my lips with my finger. After this, I'm going to be topping it up with this clear lip gloss from Sugar. So just applying on the center of the lips. So for a high shine kind of a thing, if you want, you can also use a little bit of glitter in the center of the lips. Again, going back to the Makeup Revolution glitter palette, I'm just going to be using the glitter and so I hope you guys like the look that I've created today. So for more such videos and techniques, do log on to Foxy. Until then, stay fab, stay foxy.